How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Prozzy, and a few weeks ago, a whole bunch of you guys sent me a video on Instagram, an Instagram reel of a person, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, riding their motorcycle around, and nothing happened. Just kidding. It was an Instagram reel showing a rather interesting cultural exchange among Taiwanese and foreigners on the road, and I wanted to share it with you guys and give you my thoughts. I'm assuming that's why so many people sent it to me. But basically, it starts off with this video of a guy riding, or a girl, I'm not sure, riding around on a motorcycle that looks like pretty, I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty fun. I kind of want one. This person's just trying to enjoy a nice time on the road when suddenly a kamikaze pilot on a scooter cuts her off, which is not the exciting part of this video. That happens pretty much every single minute here in Taiwan. The exciting part is when the third party shows up, a foreigner, shows up into the scene. Now, all three of these people are stopped next to each other at a red light, and this foreigner, Captain Safety, I'll call him, loses his freaking mind on this girl on the scooter.
Fucking moron! You do that
one more time.
Hey! That fake patient! Come here! You do that one more time, I'll fucking fuck you up! I see fucking moron!
你在骑什么车？
你知道我说什么，对不对？非常危险啦，跟他跟我。
骑得很危险，你这样扭来扭去超危险的。
下一次，
你
杀掉你了。
你要不要看影片
Fuck! One more time, I'll fuck you up!
Basically starts shouting at her in English and Chinese, which makes the clip all that much funnier. It shows, I think, a really interesting mix of Taiwanese and foreign culture, because this guy goes nuts on her, starts screaming at her, you know, for driving so recklessly. This kamikaze pilot, or as he more eloquently puts it,
fucking moron,
was putting everyone's lives at danger in the eyes of this foreigner, and he lets her absolutely have it. Basically threatens her, tells her that she's driving dangerously, and then shoves her. Which you shouldn't do. You shouldn't use violence. You shouldn't use, you know, your hands to win arguments. You should just scream at them, I guess. I don't know. But the funniest part is how he like grabs her back as she falls over, and he grabs her back. He's like, come here, and just keeps yelling at her, which I found kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Come here. You do that one more time, I'll fucking fuck you up.
A lot of foreign YouTubers will tell you that, you know, for the most part, Taiwanese people are very docile, and they are not very like angry, or unlike that dog behind me who just went at me. Hello, puppy. Yeah, Jesus Christ, that dog has something to say about this situation. For the most part, you know, they don't show any road rage, and they're very calm, and they get cut off all the time and don't even bat an eye. Which for the most part is true, but I mean, I have seen Taiwanese people like full on get out of their cars and scream at each other. The difference in culture here is where the foreigner like shoves the Taiwanese and actually puts hands on her. If you cut someone off on a motorcycle in the West, there are so many videos of motorcyclists smashing off a side view mirror, or, you know, something of that manner, or like hitting the person's car or something like that. And it doesn't happen like crazy often, but motorcyclists in the West are like famously defensive. And if you even get close to their bike while you're driving around, you're definitely going to hear about it. Because here in Taiwan, because there's so many scooters and motorcycles, and, you know, the roads are small and people drive so close together, typically speaking, you know, it's just expected that someone's going to get close to you. Worried that the foreigner might actually get sued for physically touching this girl. I don't know if he will. I don't know the situation. I don't know any of the people in this video, but it is something like I worry for this foreigner, because it's not, obviously it's wrong to hurt this person, but at the end of the day, he's kind of right. You know, this lady was driving like an absolute lunatic. I think the reason why a lot of people drive this way here in Taiwan, it's the same reason I used to drive that way back when I lived in China. I think there's this idea where when you're driving around here, this is more true for China, but the things that happen behind you, the things that happen in your rear view mirror of your car, don't matter. They are not of your concern. And so the idea when you're on a scooter or when you're in a car is that you want to try and get ahead of everyone as possible, because if you're in the front of the pack of the traffic, then you don't have to worry about what's going on behind you. That's the same reason why in China, and sometimes here in Taiwan, you'll see people driving around with curtains, not even joking, covering up every single window in the car while they're driving, except of course the windshield. And they do this because they don't need to see out the back of their car because it doesn't matter. And you see this attitude with a lot of people here. They'll drive like absolute maniacs to get ahead of the pack, I guess to keep themselves a little bit more safe. It's the difference between an aggressive driving style that they have here in a lot of countries in Asia versus a defensive driving style that we have in the West. And I used to drive like that in China all the time, just because I figured that it would keep me safer. And for the most part it's true, but when I moved down here, I definitely slowed down a lot more and started following the rules a lot more because I started to see more and more here in Taiwan. It wasn't necessarily about trying to get ahead of everyone. I noticed that here in Taiwan, the big difference is that it's a lot of younger people that ride around on scooters or motorcycles or cars, and they just drive so recklessly. I especially hate it on the highways here in Taiwan. You'll see a lot of young, rich kids driving around in their fancy cars, weaving in and out of traffic like at speeds you can't believe. And when you're just cruising along at like 120, 100 kilometers an hour like you're supposed to, and you see this happen, you're like, there is no way that like 21-year-old, 22-year-old kid has the driving skill to be able to handle the speeds that they're at. And to this woman as well, who's probably not watching, but if she is, don't drive like that. Not because you're gonna be scared of some foreigner grabbing you or shoving you or yelling at you in a language you don't understand. It's because if that guy didn't push you off your scooter, someone else would by mistake because of the way you drive. But again, I don't know, I find the situation more funny than anything. I filmed a video with 3 foreigners that lived here in Taiwan, one for 1 year, one for 10 years, and one for 20 years. And I asked them what's the worst part about living in Taiwan, and all 3 of them said it was the driving. What's the worst thing about Taiwan?
Everyone's going to say this, but for driving.
And it's the traffic.
The traffic. And in videos like these, you can definitely see how it can really set some foreigners off. It's a lot more common, I think, in the West for people to yell at each other on the road, simply because we just drive so defensively, and the rules of the road are respected so religiously that anyone breaking those rules or doing something dangerous is definitely going to hear about it from someone on the road. Whereas here in Taiwan, the rules are kind of bent or straight up broken so commonly. It's not worth getting angry over, it's not worth getting upset over because it happens so frequently. Although, like I said earlier, every now and again you do see some hot-headed people where their tempers boil over and then you end up getting a bit of a screaming match. In Taichung, you probably never want to yell at someone in a car, or at least you have to be very careful with who you're going to yell at or who you're going to push or who you're going to shove or who you're going to decide to get into an argument, because this city is famous for having people who, how do we say, don't necessarily take kindly to those types of challenges. So if you're going to come to Taiwan, I would highly recommend that you don't engage in this behavior. Although that lady, you know, the guy's right, the foreigner's right. That lady was driving recklessly. Yes, she could kill someone. Yes, she could hurt herself. He's right. But at the same time, you don't know who that lady is. You don't know who she's married to. You don't know whose son, you know, she has. I don't know where this video was filmed. I know it was in Taiwan, but I don't know which city. But if that happened here, I mean, you kind of want to be careful because Taichung is known as the city where the bullet flies. And there have been cases of road rage where like a whole car full of mafia members get up and just beat the living tar out of the driver in the other car. It happens, it's not great. Not a lot of foreigners want to talk about this on camera. Maybe it's a topic for another video, although I don't exactly want to get myself in trouble with the mob. But if it's something you're interested, let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think of this video below, whether you're Taiwanese or a foreigner. Do you think that this foreigner was right to yell at this lady, to push this lady? Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Thank you for joining me on this walk on this farm. Consider hitting the subscribe button. My channel is growing slowly, but it is growing thanks to you guys who decided to hit that button. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Stay positive, keep your stick on the ice, so I'll catch you guys on the next one.